G'day, Lewis.
Hello, Daniel. How are you?
I'm very good. Got a great guest this week, but also next week we have a big guest. Not to say that our guest this week isn't big, but next week is
I think he'll be okay when he hears.
He's a Minister of the Crown next week. Yes, we've got Chris Bowen on the podcast. And if you are a Patreon supporter, you can send us your questions and we'll ask him directly. Yeah, so head on over to patreon.com/arationalfear. You also get an ad-free version of the podcast. You can join for as little as $5 a month. You help us pay for our audio editor, Jacob Brown, on the Teppanyaki timeline, our video editor as well, occasionally. Also pay for our ridiculously priced podcast platforms, the things that make this thing work. So chip in. It's ad-free and you get to ask questions of our big guests. Chris Bowen.
It's very exciting. I feel like we've obviously had a lot of big guests in a lot of different spheres, but this may just be like Australian politics, the biggest guest we've had on.
Do you think so? I mean, we had Tony Burke on. He was only Minister for the Arts back then. He wasn't Minister for the Arts, Home Affairs and every other ministry in the world back then. But
that was back when the arts was something that people thought was important. We've really chucked that out now. We've finally stopped considering the arts as something someone should have their whole focus on.
And, let's not forget Anthony Scaramucci. By being, 11 days as the White House press secretary, does that make him also the press secretary for Australian politics as well?
Look, he is one of the biggest, highest profile disgraced former somethings that we've had on.
But not an actual Minister of the Crown, someone who's pulling the levers.
Yes, Scaramucci, God bless him, but he has an axe to grind, and B, he'll show up to like the opening of a Dunkin' Donuts. He'll go on anything, which is why he is the mooch.
That's right.
But I feel like Bowen just, this is us cutting in on insiders territory. This is coming in for the big guns. This is us being the new Q&A. Q&A's off.
That's it. Q&A, Irrational Fear. Let's swap them in. Swap them out. Let us on, Coach. Let us on.
Just Q&A, ARF. Stop overthinking it. Just let the letters all combine in your mind.
I may have emailed the head of news at ABC this week and said, if the drum comes back, can it be a comedy version? If you want to do a comedy version, let us know.
I mean, I love that, Dan. They're not bringing back the drum. They're not bringing back the drum. Q&As, they're not bringing, if they're losing Q&A, they're bringing back the drum. It's all gone. Everything's going.
Everything must go. Everything must go. I'm recording my end of Irrational Fear on the land of the Gundungurra. Let's start the show.
The following program contains rude words like Mark Latham, blockchain, and Twitter. Irrational Fear recommends listening by immature audiences. Comedians, experts, laughing at the world as it burns down around us. This is A Rational Fear.
Tonight, Australia will wait for the right moment to recognise a Palestinian state. Jim Chalmers says it's too early as Palestine is still too recognisable. And Melissa Caddick's husband has been charged over an alleged assault in a clifftop park. New South Wales Police said finally the shoe is on the other foot. And Barnaby Joyce declares the coalition should end support for net zero. Coincidentally, net zero is the same amount of seats they are projected to win next election. It's the 1st of August 2025 and with more tax paid than Adani, this is Irrational Fear.
This is A Rational Fear.
Don't forget to unplug your set.
Welcome to Irrational Fear. I'm your host, former star of Emily in Paris, Dan Illich, and joining Lewis and I on the podcast this week is Konrad from Punters Politics. Welcome, Konrad.
Boy, Punters, good to be here.
G'day, Konrad. Nice to have you back on the pod.
Yeah.
You've been having a great time. I think the last time we had you on was pre-election. So this was maybe a year ago. You had a busy time over the election.
How did you find the election, Konrad? What were you getting up to during the election?
Well, I feel like elections for blokes like us is just Christmas, isn't it? This is what we live for. We go into hibernation for 2.5 years until people care what we think again. So I'm enjoying my hiatus in obscurity, but it was fun while it lasted.
Lewis, I was a guest on Punters Politics live show at the Comedy Festival, which was just pre-election, as we all know. That was a great run. Did you enjoy your time as a fully fledged comedian at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival?
Listen, more respect is now given to actual comedians. It's bloody hard work. And I'll just say, the only reason I did that was to help future lawsuits potentially brought against me. I can say, I'm a comedian. I can say Dan was there. He was there live in the flesh. He has to come testify for me.
Yeah, I can tell you, Lewis and I have played lawyers on TV, so we will easily represent you.
I don't think I can even afford your rates.
Yeah, obviously you've been, pushing your focus, if you could say your singular focus, apart from just representing Australian punters in general, but your main focus has been on, trying to get the gas companies to pay some tax, any tax, just a smidgen of tax. How's that been going?
Well, as you can see, as politicians still argue about what we can and cannot afford, they haven't realised that behind the couch cushions is billions of dollars. The punters' quest to make these bludgers pay continues. I won't let up. I'll tell you what, I won't let up because I'll have a job while they don't pay. So it's a win-win.
Coming up a little later on the podcast, we're going to be taking you behind the scenes of Konrad's secret plan to wield influence and change politics in Australia forever. But first, here's a message very appropriately from this week's sponsor.
The Prime Minister's gone crazy. $215 billion worth of gas from the Northwest Shelf is being given away for free. No royalties, no strings attached, no worries.
Except for the climate, vulnerable communities and need resources to mitigate the existential threat that the extraction of gas amplifies.
That's $5.1 billion for free each year for 46 years. That's better than a same-game multi.
All because the Commonwealth Government just feels like it.
Because they've gone crazy. To get a share of this $215 billion, just be a Labor Party donor who doesn't pay tax today.
I don't know if you heard our show about 3 weeks ago, but we had Alice Fraser on. It was a really lovely time. We're just kind of easing back into our hiatus and pumping out shows. And I don't know if you managed to catch a great idea from Alice because we were talking about lobbyists. Here's what she had to say.
We need a Kickstarter. We need a Kickstarter for the Australian people to fund a lobbyist. If we get I'm reinventing democracy here.
We need the Australian people to be represented in Parliament House. Is that what you're saying, Alice?
That's so exactly. Funny. It's like, look, the voting thing isn't working. We're going to need to buy our way into the people who voted. We get one lobbyist. That's
one
pretty
lobbyist.
good.
And then if you pay like $50, you get the lobbyist doing a selfie in front of Parliament House. If you pay $500,
sort of.
it's the lobbyist, but with bare feet. Like it's OnlyFans, but OnlyFans of democracy.
The OnlyFans of democracy. And Konrad, you've taken this message to heart. Tell us, what the hell are you up to?
This is like, you know how the universe must just have these ideas and it just implants them across the nation. It is fantastic to hear that I'm not the only one thinking that democracy is not working. It's time to do what everyone else does and buy off our politicians. So probably a few months ago, I had this idea for the Punters Politics political fundraiser because you see how much politicians get in these fundraisers. 15 grand a ticket. And one news report said they're up to $100,000 a ticket. Now, that seems like some good money if we can get it. So the punters have decided to put on a Punters Politics political fundraiser to raise money for exactly what was spoken about, our own lobbyist in Parliament House. The OnlyFans suggestion is straight to the drawing room.
Straight to the drawing room. Now, you say a fundraiser for $10,000 a ticket. How is this going to come about? What are you kind of envisaging this might look like? Is it a rubber chicken dinner somewhere around Parliament House or something else?
So we have, in fact, booked a venue that I believe has been used in previous fundraisers for politicians. It is quite fancy. I'm thinking we might need to slip some fish and chips in there so regular punts feel at home. But it is tricky because I want to make this accessible to everyday Aussie punters so that they can come and schmooze the politicians like rich punts normally do every time. But then how do you raise money when tickets are $15,000? I'll tell you what, tickets for ours will be $15,000, but we will give out 99.6% discount codes to regular punters so that they can attend. And in order to make up the shortfall, I will be pimping myself out to the highest bidder. Whoever hands me money, I will spruik your thing, OnlyFans style, Cameo style. Whatever you hand me money for, I will endorse. Santos, you want me to pick on Woodside? Now's your time.
So talk me through I guess I've never been to a donor's dinner. They're not the circles I move in.
Neither.
So just so I understand it, you go, this is to take it right back to what a donor dinner even is. You say, hey, I'm going to get whatever, Chris Bowen, he'll be at this dinner.
Yeah.
If you would also like to attend this dinner, you can pay $10,000. There'll be 15 of us or whatever at this dinner, and we can just have a nice, whatever, beef Wellington, and we can sit around and Chris Bowen will be there to listen to you. And at the end, Chris Bowen gets to take that 150 grand or whatever and give it to the Labor Party. Is that how it works?
I reckon this is exactly how I believe it to work. I've never been to one personally. Apparently, that's probably what happened. But sometimes they have them at billionaires' houses, like Peanuts, when he was meant to be sacking sandbags in Queensland during the floods. He was at a billionaire's private residence, and guests were, get this, quote unquote, encouraged to contribute $16,000. So,
well, probably 16,900, which is the threshold. Yeah.
yeah, right up to the. Okay. Does yours have any politicians attached?
Sorry, Konrad, is there anyone of any significant influence attached to this other than yourself?
Listen, RSVPs are pending. I have just been down to Parliament House last week, and personally, because I have a lobbyist pass, I am what's called a lobbyist. I have been given one
that sets you apart from most lobbyists.
Yeah.
That you're actually declared.
That's true. But I also, like most lobbyists, won't tell you who gave me the pass, because politicians are allowed to hand these passes out like candy to whoever they want.
I think it's isn't it well reported that David Pocock signed up on this pass, and then didn't he sign off on this one?
I'll neither confirm nor deny because I don't have to tell any of you guys. I'm connected. So I was down there schmoozing some politicians trying to get in with some politicians. And there was some eagerness from certain politicians. You can predict the ones that are not a fan of this lobbying system. Mr. Pocock may have indicated he was interested in coming, and a few other politicians.
He's very hypocritical, hates lobbyists, but gives Konrad a lobbying pass.
That's
got
politics,
him.
Isn't it?
So there's potentially some big names. You could have getting a couple of senators would be pretty good.
Yeah, Albo will be invited. Susan Ley will be invited. But if they do not come, there will be high-quality impersonators in attendance to make punters feel like they're not being ignored.
Who are we talking about here? Are we talking like Jonas Holt? Is Jonas Holt going to be flown down to Canberra to do impressions of everyone?
Listen, we're also searching for good impersonators as well. You've got us at the early stages.
All right, okay.
Okay, no, this is very exciting. I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the grill here. I was just trying to get a sense of the event.
No, we need to put him on the grill, Lewis, because, on behalf of the Australian people, we got to see whether you're just a name dropper or whether you truly know the landscape and are willing to play the long game here. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so what night is the event?
So we had a date in mind, and as it was October September. No, September, October. October's after. It was October, and as I have the invitation. Look. You say you think I'm not organised? I'm holding up to the camera.
Okay, you've got a poster there. Yep.
Made and printed invitations that I gave to the politicians in person. It has connect with real Aussie punters, not lobbyists, right? So try and entice the politicians there. And I was handing these out, and it was on a Saturday night, and almost every politician indicated to me, "Ooh, Saturday,
they won't be around."
You can't. You got to have it Monday to Thursday because Friday they're off.
Yes. They leave like Thursday evening. They're like 230 grand a year for a 4-day week. So we've got to reassess
Konrad,
the dates.
why don't you call Lewis or I? We could have told you this.
I thought you guys were just
let
funny.
us be your consultants.
All right.
Well,
You'll take a clipping.
Yeah, there's KPMYG, there's EY, and there's ARF. That's who you need to book as a consultant to come and help you consult to be a lobbyist.
All right, I won't make that mistake again. You're on the consultancy list.
So have you moved the date to be a date when Parliament is sitting?
I just put the vote to my Patreons on punters. I said, who do we prioritise? The punters who want to get there on the weekend. I'm thinking of them first and foremost, or the politicians. And the selfless punters on Patreon have indicated, they go, well, do it for the politicians. Maybe a Wednesday night would be an ideal night.
That's good. Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. And have you checked the venue? Is the venue available on Wednesday night?
Venue is available and booked.
Wow.
All right. Okay. This is good stuff. We're moving forward.
Well,
I want to hear about influence. Like you've also got a chuffed fundraiser going as well. So you're trying to raise a whole bunch of money, $75,000 to be like a full-time lobbyist. What does $100 get you for influence? Like if a Rational Fear donates $100 to your chuffed, what kind of influence can we expect from Konrad on the Hill?
Well, if you're pissed off by these oil and gas bludgers, these will be the issues first and foremost that this lobbyist will be going in. So we're kind of carpooling our resources to really put at the top of politicians' list. At the end of the day, the problem with politics is the thing that happens between when the smart punts come up with the policy and when the politicians pass the bill. There's something that happens in between, and that's the lobbying where they put the loopholes in, and then it gets to this monster that doesn't work and things like that. So we need a lobbyist to lobby the politicians to stop listening to lobbyists. So first and foremost, these are the top issues that will be there. It will be make the gas tax bludgers pay us what they bloody owe us. Number two, take my money and stop listening to me. That's the goal of this lobbyist. But then I also like this idea of potentially getting punters to get the lobbyist to do certain things and talk to certain politicians and take selfies, feet shots. Well, it is getting a bit OnlyFansy, but we'll see who we get. Because I do want to try and employ an ex-fossil fuel or ex-tobacco or ex-gambling, some lobbyist who needs to atone for their sins. I want the best, and I'm not being puritanical about it.
Oh, that's good.
Right. So you want someone who's been in the industry to then lobby against lobbying.
To catch a thief, Dan, you must think like a thief.
Correct.
This is good. I like that very much.
Konrad, you're a guy who kind of grown up around big mining. You know, you're up there in the Hunter Valley. Surely these people exist in your life. Surely you know these folks already.
Weirdly enough, Dan, the only punts I know work in the mines. They're the wage slaves for these billionaires who inherited their wealth and opened up a hole in my town called the coal mine. And they're under the lake digging the coal. Unfortunately, they're not the lucky punts in Parliament lobbying. But I have put out as many feelers as I can. And if you guys know any, because I know you're quite politically connected as well, any lobbyists you know, they all know each other. Let's try and field some top quality candidates because $75K, I've been quickly informed, won't employ a full-time lobbyist. and so we want to pay in the one thing we have that no one else can compete with, and that is moral virtue. I will make you sleep better at night because you are working for the punters.
Moral virtue? You can't take a plum job at Moral Virtue HQ and you retire? No one's going to put you on the board of moral like value. This needs to be their golden parachute, Konrad.
Yeah.
We need to find a way for these people to retire into moral virtue.
Yeah. I've started out in moral virtue. It's terrible. The money's awful.
Yeah. I believed in moral virtue too, and I'm still renting.
Well, these guys have their money, and now they need atonement, and we can give them that atonement. Keep your money,
that's nice.
keep your like Scrooge McDuck swimming pools. Just come and use that inside knowledge because I've been informed that it's quite the game where they walk around and schmooze politicians, talk to staffers, go out to dinners.
Konrad, I know for a fact there are several people who listen to this podcast who are into who might actually be into that. So if you are a former fossil fuel executive / comms person / lobbyist, get in touch. We'll connect you directly with Konrad. Now, $75,000, if my math is correct, is about 5 tickets to your fundraiser.
See, we don't have that many people.
How big is this venue you've booked?
So 200 tickets. We're putting on sale 150, potentially more, pending how many guests, how many politicians we get to come. Many have indicated they would like to also pay for tickets, but because I'll be honest, between us here, I'm desperate. Politicians, I want them from all stripes. I'm not, it's like Greens, Nationals, One Nation. I don't care. Come on in through the door. You're all ready to be lobbied.
What can people expect of this dinner? Is there going to be some entertainment? Are you going to hire Lewis to MC? What's the big thing here?
So once again, it's all still in the works, but in my imagination, there's going to be a red carpet. We've discussed potentially a red carpet where we'll have
red carpet. What a green carpet for the colour of money.
Oh, okay. That'll
No,
go into
not with
consideration.
Labor have won so many seats. I think it gets to be a red carpet.
Okay. Right. Gotcha.
Whichever is cheaper, Dan. Whichever is cheaper, we will have that carpet. We'll have a red carpet. You can pose for photos with politicians. You know, we'll pimp out the politicians as well, so you can line up and get photos with. I'd like to have the entertainment with the impersonators, a live band. There may or may not be a Punters theme song that is being in development for this very purpose. And I have a few famous punts that follow the Punters Politics Instagram account. So I'm going to be reaching out to some famous punts and say, listen, can we add some prestige to this? You want to come along.
Right. Okay.
I'm seeing maybe like a dating show type format where you've got sort of, Konrad there with a skinny little microphone, sort of a 70s suit, and then you've got like 3 punters on one side and a politician, and you're sort of like matching them up to match up like the lobbyist to the issue.
Listen.
And then they can go off afterwards and can film their little date. They can catch a Greyhound bus to Disneyland or whatever.
You work that and you're in. You come, that's your segment. You work, you come back to me and we can make it happen. Yeah.
First thought.
It could be like a perfect match. It could be like totally blind dates,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's like, contestant number 2 loves long walks along the beach and can frack all night.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's Marty Joyce.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I'm interested. I think this is going to be great. And I hope that you do get in there. I hope you do get a chance to just spend, 6 months just wandering the halls, getting to know everyone, glad handing, going to buy them a steak or whatever. I think that'd be nice. The more I think about it, the more I'd actually make a fucking great lobbyist. It's
okay.
it's
So your
all you have to
application,
do.
you're open?
No, not yours. Yours is yours. I've done
I don't pay enough.
moral.
No,
I'm done with
no.
morals.
We've got to
I
pay
wanna
Lewis
go
to be in the pocket of big podcast. That's what we need.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to sell out and go for the cash. Sorry, Konrad.
Okay.
But is it really all you have to do is just like chat to people and go out for dinner? They are my 2 favorite things.
You're in the wrong career.
I would love to do that.
I really think most comedians really didn't understand how the world worked and went, no, I'll grind and go in front of strangers and be hated for at least a few seconds till I make them laugh instead of wander around, make really easy jokes to a bunch of, staffers, go out to dinners.
At the end of the day, like with comedians, they're like, they've paid to see you and you have to make them feel good. Whereas with the other one, you're going, I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you food. I'm going to give you drinks. I'm going to give you everything.
A cushy job
you're
at the
the
end of your
comedian
career.
paying the audience. It's so easy.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, you could check with your clients that how many board positions have we got to give out this year? Let me know. Let me know.
Easy. It's so easy.
One of my favourite moments in Australian politics was when Ian McFarland, who was Minister for Minerals, he left politics when Abbott was Prime Minister and he retired. And Abbott said, like the revolving door was in full swing. And Abbott said to a waiting media pack about Ian, said, well, Ian McFarland's done such a great job for the mining and coal industry. I hope they remember him when he retires.
He said that.
And prepay the fee. He's just said the quiet
I need to
part
find that
out
clip.
loud.
It's crazy. He's just like, I hope they find him a job.
Yep, please. They need to find him a job. Ian McFarland, he's out there. Ian McFarland is now running like a big Asian think tank when it comes to minerals and mining out of China. So he's literally in China, the chairperson of this big think tank to try and facilitate more mining in between Australia and China. So that's the gig you got. Sweet gig.
It's such a good grift. It's such a good grift.
But if you
and
can
it
get
won't
it-
be around long. We're running out of time to jump on the mining grift, gang. I'm
No wonder
sorry.
Tony Burke has got so many portfolios because there's nowhere in the arts he can go. So by the time the arts disappears, AI will have taken that. He's got 10 other portfolios to kind of
You know what?
get his revolving door on.
If all those unemployed artists worked out where the money was, they could flood Canberra, right, with their much better interpersonal skills, much better social skills. You'd be knocking off lobbyists left, right, and center, and just take all those plum gigs because you can talk to people heaps better than someone that's come up through the Liberal Party.
Oh my God. Honestly, I hope the lobbyists are watching their back. We've just found out about your job and now we want it. We want it badly. Like Konrad's he's marching to the beat of his own drum. He's forging the path of the world's first good lobbyist.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm coming for the bad lobbyist jobs.
Konrad, you have just started your Chuffed campaign. It's at $740. You know, you're getting there. You've still got a little bit to go to hit $75,000. How else can people support you to kind of hit that mark?
I don't think punters understand what a dark money funder is, because all these really generous punters that have joined the Chuffed campaign, this is for dark money. So half of money in politics is dark money, untraceable money. No one knows where it comes from. So I set up the Chuffed to allow people to anonymously donate. I'm not going to ask questions where it comes from, but they will put their names to it. So
yeah, you've got 16 people up there and only 5 of them have chosen to be anonymous.
Yeah.
That's wild. And someone's given $10 of anonymous money to you.
So that could be anyone.
You don't know who. What kind of influence is that going to wield?
And I will take that money. So yes, I mean, to support the campaign, email your MP and say, oi, have you been invited to the Punters Politics political fundraiser? Because I would love to see you there. So we need a hassle, especially if your member is a Liberal or Labor Party politician. These major parties are a bit gun shy of fun punter, Konrad. So we'd like to entice them with the letters. So that helps the Chuff campaign. No questions asked, money donation there. Keep an eye on the podcast for ticket sales. We will be giving out discount codes, or if you've got 16 grand laying around, we will also accept that. And if you're a small business and or a corporation, we'll get to that later, but if you're a small business, a local Newcastle car washing or plumber, I will pimp myself out. I will spruik your brand. You give me we'll negotiate a deal. You give me some money. I will sell whatever it is that I need to sell to raise this money.
That's great. Good. I can't wait for David Pocock to suddenly be on the steps of Parliament giving a speech about how we need to take no more taxes for Newcastle car washers. Like, oh, Konrad's been in his ear. He's doing a great job. This guy's a great lobbyist.
I can't wait for David Pocock to be in front of a Senate committee having to justify this pass.
I think it's very interesting that the 2 parties you've mentioned there who won't attend, it's almost like there's some sort of connection between them and your campaign to get big oil corporations to pay taxes. And maybe a smarter person could do the digging to try to find the connection. But
coincidence, probably. I don't know. Listen, it's hard.
It's almost as if the beneficiaries of the dark money don't want to draw attention to the dark money. But again, I'm no journalist.
No, because that money's just donated in good faith, guys. Come on. They just BHP and Gina Reinhart, they just give the money and they just say, hey, we love what you do.
We just love politics.
We just love
to
the fan of Australia.
Democracy work. Yeah.
Not enough to pay tax, but of your political system.
Konrad, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we do have Minister of the Crown, Chris Bowen, joining us. Did you want to give one little message to Chris Bowen and we'll play it for him next week?
I would love to. I was going to ask, so thank you so much. Oi, Punter Chris. We've chatted. We know each other. I would love to hereby formally invite you in person direct to you, not through your staffer, to the Punters Politics political fundraiser. Here you get to connect with everyday, regular Aussie punters who would love to chat to you about the things that matter to them most. RSVP, whenever you can, Konrad at punterspolitics.com. Chris Bowen, cheers, punt. I know you're probably trying your hardest to get the gas bludgers to pay tax. Come hang out with me, my lobbyist. We'll help you get the talking points in order. Catch you then.
That was a real hard sell. Now, Konrad, what is the dress code for this? Are you going to wear a suit or something like a hazmat kind of suit so you don't get stink all over you from this slimy occasion?
I hope Chris Bowen doesn't listen to this part of the episode. But I think the dress code, we're brainstorming at the moment, but I believe it's things that make you look rich, but don't need that don't need to look rich. So maybe you found a suit at Vinnie's for $10, but it looks pretty good. Maybe you borrow your dad's suit; it's a little bit too big, but hey, it's fine. It's cheap ways to look rich. I think that's the theme we're going for.
Well, I think that's very lobbyist actually, because no one in Parliament looks good. Like no one in Canberra looks. No one is like dressed well. Not since like the retirement of Paul Keating has someone worn a well-fitting suit.
No, that's true. Absolutely. I mean, instead of a handbag, people should carry like an Apple bag from the Apple shop, from the Apple store, because they've bought something very expensive.
Wow.
Yep. That's a cheap way to look rich if you just have the bag and no items inside of it.
Have you ever noticed, like, when politicians do media, their setups to do like video calls like this are absolutely terrible? Like Konrad and I, we've got sweet setups, but like every other politician, except for Matt Canavan, has a
Cosplay
terrible
Canavan.
setup. Cole Cosplay Canavan has got a beautiful setup. He spent some real money on getting a camera and a light and a microphone, and he looks fantastic on Sky News. But everyone else looks shit.
Yeah, he's got when you're talking about, if you're talking about Cosplay Canavan's setup, he's set it up like Paul Murray's backdrop where he's like, oh, I'm just in the shed, but clearly I've got a very nice diffused box light on me. He's done very well. But most politicians, it's their staff are fumbling with their iPhone for a few minutes being like, hello, can you hear me? And they kind of prop it up. So Chris Bowen was a little bit like that when I had him on my pod. Thanks for jumping on, politician Chris Bowen.
Well, we're going to him next week. Well, I'm going to him. Lewis will be down the line. So. I'll be beaming in. I'll upgrade. I'll put my real camera on. I'm lazy. That's why I didn't do it. And it's a lot of setting it up and packing it back down.
You could be a lobbyist. You're really putting your best foot forward.
Yeah. I need to. I'm going to lobby for my own office. Then I can just leave it set up.
If you want to donate to Punters Politics, punter-powered lobbyists, the link will be in the show notes and in the newsletter. You can subscribe to irrationalview.com or just Google Punters Politics wherever you find good internet. Konrad, thank you so much for joining us on Irrational Fear to tell us about your latest punt. It's very exciting.
Blokes, thanks so much for having me on and getting on board the cause for the punters to have their very own lobbyist.
We believe in you.
We've plugged you a lot this episode. Lewis, do you want to plug anything?
No, not right now. I hope to see you in Canberra in October or September or Wednesday or Saturday. Whenever the event finally settles in, Konrad, good luck to you.
You're in as long as you're hosting a Bachelorette-style segment. I'll bring the roses.
I'd love to.
It's actually a really good idea. That's a great tax write-off for you, Lewis.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I need.
That is it for Rational Fear. Big thanks to Konrad from Punters Politics, Lewis Holber. Also, big thank you to Jacob Round on the Teppanyaki Timeline, Road Mics, our Patreon supporters. Thank you for donating to Patreon. It really keeps us going. Until next week, there's always something to be scared of. Bye.